Hey guys, Eric Corner here at BPISecurity.com, weekly announcement. This past week there are a couple topics going around on the social media networks and an abundance of comments regarding these topics. And the topics centered around the overwhelming negativity or the negative stories in the industry and compared to the lesser amount of, of positive stories in this industry. Let's be realistic. We are a society driven by reality TV and shock value news. If you look at 24-hour news cycle, and at the top of the news, there's probably only by the end of the hour, there's probably only between 5 and 10% pure news. The rest are filler and shock stories. I was just watching at the top of the hour today on CNN, and the top of the hour story was dog eats owner's lottery tickets. That was the news. The negative stories that are coming out regarding this industry are driven by shock. When you have two stories, and I'm going to give you two examples, was basically within the same time period, close to the same time period. Justin Bieber's bodyguard beats up cameraman who won't get out in front of the truck, and then you have Jennifer Lopez's bodyguard who basically runs down and saves their baby from running away. Guess which one made the news? Of course, the one that beat Justin Bieber's bodyguard. Reason why? Because we're driven by reality TV and the shock value of the story. Men and women in this industry are doing great things every day. You're expected to do that. When we go out, get outside of our wheelhouse and off the reservation, that's when we bring attention to the industry. In the totality of things, society could care less. We're not important to them. We're not. The only people we're important to is ourselves and the clients and protectees, the principles that we protect. That's it. But when we do something bad, it brings attention to the industry. We may all disagree or agree on many things, and we don't have to agree on everything. But at the end of the day, there's one thing that connects us all, and we're related in one way. That's called industry reputation. When industry reputation gets hit, harmed, or hurt, we all take a hit. Several months back, I started the BPI Scab of the Week program. I want to call it a program because I implement it every time the scab shows up. And for those of you who don't know what a scab is, it's an acronym that stands for Security Counterfeiting as Bodyguard. One of the first scabs that I put out was Chris Herzog. Chris Herzog was the guy who was going to write a tell-all book, and he bragged that in 25 years that he's been doing his business, he has never signed a non-disclosure agreement. So now he's going to write a book. This past week, Mr. Herzog pops up again. And now he's saying he's trying to sell his life story. Give me a break. You need to get a life before you can even start thinking about selling your life story. The fact of the matter is he's selling the life stories of the people that were entrusted their privacy and protection of them to him, and now he's selling their stories. So what I did was I said, you know what? I'm going to bring attention to these guys. A lot of people thought that I was bringing negative attention onto the industry, but my purpose was to counterbalance the negativity of the outsiders looking in by saying, hey, we don't stand for this. This is not what we stand for. This is not who we are. The problem is not enough experts and leaders in the industry doing the same thing. You're not leading by example if you just put a post out there that says another tell-all story booked by bodyguard. That's just informing. And then wait for the comments to show up. As a leader, leaders take a stand. Take a stand so that the people who follow you know where you're coming from, and it makes it easier for them to take a stand. You don't realize when people follow you, they follow you for a reason. And if you take a stand on something, people can understand where you are with certain things, and the other leaders can respect you as well. You may not agree with me, but that's the way I look at it. If you don't take a stand, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. That's an old saying. It's not my saying. That's a cliche and a saying that's been out for years. So that's why I do that. It's not to bring negativity onto the industry, but it's to bring attention to counterbalance the negativity that's coming inward from society. So at the end of the day, if we want to bring the positive stories, we have to drive those positive stories. The news media could care less what it is that we do because it has no value to the news. Of course, if you jump in front of a bullet, but that's still negative. You've done your job, but somebody has gotten hurt, but we're expected to do that. But the negative stories are going to always outweigh what good was done. I'll give you a very good example. You can look at the Reagan shooting over and over and over again. in the news, they never talk about the Secret Service doing their job. Only times you hear about the Secret Service doing their job is when you're watching Discovery Channel and it shows about the Secret Service. And when they dissect it, they tell you that the guys did a great job. The reason why it's not valued in the news is because that's what they're expected to do. But if one of those Secret Service guys had a shot their weapon that day and missed Hinckley and hit somebody else, it'd have been news because it had been of value to what it is that they're doing. Now I'm getting a little bit off the message here, but I think you get my point. I want to close with this. The PSC is coming up next month. It's going to be in Baltimore City in my backyard. Don't think you're going to sneak in my neighborhood and not have to see me. I'm going to be there. Mark Fair is going to be there. Brian Diggs is going to be there, as well as a bunch of BPI specialists that I've talked about in the past. We'll all be there. I've already been invited to sit down with a couple of the other leaders in the industry to sit down and chop it up and talk to them. I'm looking forward to that, as well as some of the specialists on the social medias that want to pick my brain on certain things, and I'm looking forward to that as well. So don't forget, next month, the PSC, I'll be there. Let's get together. Let's talk. Let's share our differences and see if we can come to a commonality. If we don't, we just have to agree to disagree and respect each other's opinions. So I'll close as I always do, but I'm going to put a twist on this today. Whenever you're on a detail, there are two protectees: the man or the woman in the back right seat and our reputation. Either one get harmed and we're done.